why dating feels so incredibly hard right now is because we currently have gender wars, but we also have an imbalance of energy. More men are now turning more passive, okay, which is deemed as feminine trait, and more women are turning more masculine. When you have gender wars, there will be no harmony. There will be no let's exist in peace. It's really every man for themselves. Women have got to a point now where they realize they don't need men for survival. So men are now panicking because in order for a man to feel good about himself, he needs to feel needed. But women don't really need you guys anymore. They don't. I know so many women who are like marriage-free, child-free, living life, happy, growing, thriving, like the list goes on. So this is the problem that men are having. The reason why it was easier for you guys to date women back in the day was because women actually didn't have options. They didn't have avenues that they can go down. So women were actually coming from a place of scarcity rather than abundance. Now, women have an abundant mindset. They don't need to settle. They do not. They actually don't. Men want us to settle because if women don't settle, then that means men aren't going to be picked anymore.
Something strange is happening in the modern dating scene. For years the narrative was simple. Men were supposed to keep chasing, keep competing, keep proving themselves worthy of attention. No matter how frustrating the process got, the assumption was that men would always stay in the game. But lately, something unexpected has been happening.
When a man is able to walk away from a woman without feeling scared, without feeling anxious, or without feeling like he's failed, I promise you, that woman will find you 50% more attractive by walking away. I promise you. Because we expect that obsession. We expect that attraction already. You know, if a man's coming up to us, we're like, oh, just another guy, I guess. You know, I'm attracting another guy. And then if you're acting like that, and the man's just like, all right, fine. If you're not interested, he walks away. That's where the woman's like, oh, maybe he's not actually that bad. Maybe he was actually interested in me. Maybe I should give him a chance. See that reverse psychology? There's no need to play these games, okay? You have options, act like it.
A lot of men didn't start protesting. They didn't start screaming online. They didn't launch some huge rebellion. They just stopped playing. Quietly.
A man does not walk away because he's confused. A man walks away because the connection was never as deep as you thought it was. Let me give you a relationship tip that will change your life forever, my darling. A lot of women are confused. They're brainwashed, they're naive, and wearing the rose-tinted glasses of love that they can't see. That the man walked away not because of his confusion, he's going to come back, he's having a tough time, he's going to come back. Because the truth is, the connection was never so deep for him as deep it was for you. From the first date, you're already dreaming about having kids with him. You're marrying him. You're going down the aisle. He's not. He's just looking at you, assessing you, seeing if you're even good enough in the physical appearance for him. But you are dreaming weird things like fairy tales. Because you know what? People feed women fairy tales from when they're young. You know, young girls have said there's going to be a Prince Charming coming on a white horse for you. Reality is you really need to see a man, truly see his values if they match with you. What is the way he deals with anger, sadness, grief, to know if that man is for you in a long-term relationship or marriage. Deep connection happens over time, over understanding, over truly asking the right questions when you meet a man. Not just by seeing him or maybe, getting intimate with him once and thinking, oh my God, I'm in love. You might be in love, darling. He is not. And that is why he could walk away. And no, his sweet words don't matter when his actions don't match. And that is the reality in today's modern world of relationship. If you're a woman who's wanting a long-term relationship, a marriage, a secure partnership for a very long time with a man, please don't get brainwashed with these kind of things. He is not confused. Men are not confused 90% of the times. 90% of the times they know exactly what they want and they're playing games with you because they want to extract what they want from you. It could be a body, it could be a presence, it could be being the trophy girl beside his arms. You need to be careful, my darling. And as always, if you want to talk to me about your relationship problems, go to the link in my bio. I have a 1:1 guidance class where I listen to your problems and give you advice based on my personal experience and understanding.
No dramatic speeches. No public announcements. Just fewer men chasing, fewer men approaching, fewer men investing time and energy into a system they feel isn't working for them anymore. And the reaction has been interesting.
No offense to men, but it gets to a point where it's like, baby, you are too fine to be afraid to talk to women. I'm laughing because it's actually like funny, but it's not funny. Like, I recognize that it's probably really difficult for some men to talk to girls because, like, I don't know, women are scary because we're so hot. But like, you actually are hot too. And if you're hot, why are you afraid to talk to women?
So to point out the obvious, right? It's a notion saying men should leave women alone. That's obvious. That's been going on for years. Boom, we got that. The thing is, a lot of men don't know they look good. A lot of men have not been validated, so they don't understand that they actually look good. They don't have the confidence to say, you know what, I'm a good-looking guy. She's a good-looking woman. Let me approach because I have that confidence. It hasn't been instilled in them. And if it is instilled in them, they don't believe it themselves. But then on the flip side, a lot of men have divested. They just say they gave up. Dating, relationships, courting, approaching, whatever, shooting a shot. A lot of men have just given up. They took themselves out of the race, which lets them know that, you know what, everything that the woman has said negatively, they think about themselves as well, or they just got exhausted from everything, from hearing leave us alone to approach. It's like ping pong going back and forth and they can't decide which one to do. So they just completely quit the game. I understand that one. As far as approaching women, men like and understand very obvious choosing signals, which a lot of women do not give. They give a little, and that's it, or a little smile, and that's it. A lot of men ain't approaching them for that. So the choosing signals are not as strong as majority of men would like them to be. It usually has nothing to do with y'all being attractive. It's that men have been sucked into this notion of, she don't like me, she wouldn't like me. They're self-sabotaging before they even make the attempt because of everything they probably experienced, probably everything they heard or seen on social media or in real life. So men had just take themselves out. F it. Why do I need her? Why does she need me? I'm better off without her. I'm sure she's better off without me. That's the mindset of most men. So to completely answer your question, if these hot men or good-looking men aren't approaching women like you say, and you consider yourself liking that man, make it more obvious. I'm not saying approach, but make it more obvious. Put it in his face. Put it in his circumference. Something. Because a lot of men are clueless on this. And a lot of men just don't give a damn anymore. Love.
Because the system was built on the assumption that men would always participate. The competition, the attention, the validation cycle. It all depended on men constantly showing up and trying.
Feminists have reached peak feminism. The trouble with wanting men. They've obtained everything they've ever wanted, and they could not be more miserable. They have no partners, they have no kids, they're on antidepressants, and they're calling it heterofatalism. They've determined that trying to work with guys sucks. They don't want to date guys, they don't like guys, so they give up, but they want to hook up with guys. So this is the end result, ladies and gentlemen. Was anybody ever going to be truly happy living outside of how nature made humans to be? This is like the transhumanist dream. They've tried it with social issues, they're trying it with technology, and the end result is nobody likes it. I love that scene in the movie Snatch, where the dude is like, you can't drink milk because it's out of sync with evolution, man. And he's like, what? Here's the idea. Humans have a nature that is, especially if you're, I suppose, the Christians, you can make your arguments in the comments, because for those secular atheist feminists who believe in evolution, my argument is this. Evolution dictates. Evolutionary psychology dictates. Women want to be with men and want to have babies. If you did not, humans would not exist. Most men throughout history did not reproduce, meaning, certain characteristics were favored for survival. In the modern era, being socialized to live in a way that is out of sync with evolution results in unhappiness and chaos, or behavioral sync. Here's a story from the New York Times. The trouble with wanting men. Yeah? Women are so fed up with dating men that the phenomenon even has a name, heterofatalism. Okay, I instantly, I have this policy that I just delete. I don't read any article that starts with instead of telling you the premise, they start with an unrelated story. It was a dark and stormy night. I entered the bar. Yeah, okay, lady, I don't care, right? What's the point? Then tell me the story. Anyway, here we go. The stranger arrived at the bar before I did, as I intended him to, and was waiting for me in the table in the back. He had the kind of face I like, and he had been a little difficult to pin down, delayed in his responses, which I also like. The place was loud with the having fun sounds people make when they expect to have fun any minute now. So we were leaning in to hear each other. His hair, I thought, would be good to put my hands in. Ooh, she liked it, huh? There comes a time, usually, when a few extra beats of eye contact are enough. We passed through these beats, took each other's wrists, and met across the table, which is wide enough to frustrate kissing in the right way, keeping the rest of us well apart. Back at my place, he was a little shy. I thought a little out of practice, but I felt he wanted me, which is what I wanted, to be organized and oriented by his desire, as though it were a point on the dark horizon strobing. I was really looking forward to seeing you again, he texted me the following week around lunchtime.
Women are now noticing that the men are gone. So basically, women have told men for 40 years that they don't want to be approached. They have told men that they can do everything by themselves. And it turns out when women keep saying that, men, they go where they're wanted. They'll listen and they'll leave them alone. Mainstream media has been in denial for some time about the fact that men are disengaging from women. It used to be expected that men would court women and romance them. Men would move heaven and earth to attract a woman to be his girlfriend or his wife. Women called that misogyny and patriarchy and rewrote the social contract. Now,
But when men step back and redirect their energy into other parts of life, work, hobbies, friendships, fitness, personal growth, the entire dynamic starts to shift.
Modern men are not stepping up anymore, and it frustrates women. Women want men to step up, to become men again, to be masculine, to pursue, to protect her, to provide, to be a man so she can finally feel like a woman again. But here's the truth. Those men are still there. The thing is that these men have gone quiet. These men are not weak. These men are not scared. These men are just tired. That sounds like a poem. I didn't mean to make that sound like a poem. Men are tired of walking into emotional traps of women, only to be punished for their efforts. If you want to understand why men have stopped pursuing women, I am going to talk about that in this video and what you as man or as woman can do to help rebalance that. Because in order to find happiness again and to find each other again in connection, both sides need to take responsibility and both sides have healing to do to meet each other again in respect and understanding. And this is why I make these videos. Now let's be real. In the past, a man would just walk up to a woman, make conversation, offer her some help, or show his interest, even if nothing came from it. But it was met with respect, with kindness. It was seen as a compliment. Now fast forward to our current day and age and our current dating environment, an act like that could easily result in a TikTok video titled, "I got approached by a creepy guy in the gym." Let's get some stats. According to a 2023 Pew Research study, 63% of single men say they no longer feel comfortable approaching women in public. That's shocking to me. And this is not because they're shy. It is because men are afraid to be misinterpreted and humiliated. Humiliated in public and even worse, online. And here's the kicker. Women now go online and say, "Where's all the confident men? Why won't anyone help me with my suitcase no more? Why don't men flirt anymore or approach me?" So what has changed? Well, in this video, I'm gonna unpack 3 points on what has changed and what women and men can do to rectify this. Point number 1, mixed signals and selective outrage. Point number 2, how effort is now being punished instead of rewarded. And number 3, what both men and women can do to repair the balance. Let's get straight into the first point, mixed signals. Mixed signals are everywhere. Now here's a girl, full glam, full on diva, and she posts about how no man helped her lift her bag in the overhead carriage on the plane. And she says, "Where are the men? Chivalry is dead." However, everything about her posture in the video says, "Leave me alone. I can do it myself." Just closed off, not open, very defensive. You see the disconnect? This is because the woman looks unapproachable. So why would a man choose to approach her if she looks closed off? If everything about her screams, "Don't touch me, don't come near me," but on the other hand, looks very feminine and thinks that will pull in men to help her, well, it's all about energy, it's all about attitude. And we women need to understand that it is about having a welcoming and receptive energy. That is when men will approach you because you look safe to approach. You look interested in being approached by a man. And sadly, many women adopt this stance because they want to seem like they don't need anyone. They're strong women, they're independent, they don't need a man to help them out. But in the meantime, they do want that validation. They do want that connection. And they do want to be seen by a man. So if this is you and this is what you experience, please look at yourself and see if you have an energy that seems closed off, that is not welcoming to people around you or inviting, kind, or open. And this kind of behavior is very confusing for men because women are complaining about that men are not being chivalrous anymore, but it is the stance that you have. It is the attitude that you have. If you have a closed off or defensive or even aggressive energy, no one will come and help you. No one will come and offer you help. You don't want to approach a person who seems to communicate like, don't connect with me, don't come near me. If you come near me, I will scream or I will call you a creep. And then when people don't approach you, you complain about it. Do you see the dichotomy here? And this is what a lot of women don't understand. They complain that men don't approach you, but meanwhile, you have a frown that reaches about to your navel. Do you think that anyone wants to approach you when you look grumpy or defensive? Of course not. And then on the other hand, when you have a brave man who does approach you, they're called creeps. They're being called stalkers. They go under the number of a gym harasser. Oh, a man harassed me in the gym. And this kind of crooked behavior is seen everywhere. It's not just on airplanes or in a gym or in the shop where a woman wants help but has this defensive demeanor. It's everywhere. And if this is what you experience, you need to work on yourself. You need to heal yourself because there's something misaligned about your energy. And you need to look at that and not blame that on men.
Suddenly the guy who used to be chasing is now just living his life. He's not arguing online. He's not begging for attention. He's not trying to prove anything. He's simply choosing where his time and energy go. And for many men, that choice has turned out to be surprisingly peaceful.
When you break up with a man and he's like, walks away with it, like, I just blindsided. Like, I was having a great time. I thought it was great. Like, I didn't have an issue. And you're like, of course, you were in a relationship with me. I was in a relationship with you. Of course you had a great time. Sucks for me.
No constant pressure to impress. No endless guessing games. No feeling like they're running a never-ending audition. Just calm.
Women have to know that you are absolutely willing to walk away from them if they start acting out of line. A lot of nice guys don't understand this, and this is why attraction and polarity dies, because you're trying to keep the peace and you're not showing that you are morally capable of doing what's right regardless of your emotions. You let her beauty and the attraction and the attachment get in the way of what you know the right thing is to do. For her biology, it signals a lack of safety, a lack of masculine frame, and she now interprets you as weak.
The irony is that the loudest change in the dating world right now isn't some huge movement. It's silence.
I see all these men quitting dating and going into celibacy, and it's great. I don't know what's going on with my hair, I just come out of the ocean, but it's fantastic. I believe every man and woman should go through celibacy for a year in their life. It's nothing more important than being able to harness your own life force energy, to be with yourself, to be with your body, and to hold and build more capacity for more of your life force, your pleasure, your orgasmic potential, to not be driven by your eros. And when we learn to be with our own, we are raising our standard for what we are tolerating when it comes to dating. And this will help the whole world to level up, because we're not tolerating bad dates, crumbs, or people who are just not doing the right thing. So I think this is great. It might be sad that the dating culture is very broken, very painful for a lot of people, but this is good. This is a bit of a shake-up to wake up, and maybe this is a year where people are doing the work on themselves, and collectively we are leveling up. So 2027, maybe all these happy, healthy people with high standards, a lot of love, a lot of kindness, a lot of care, we get back into the dating scene, and we will create all this happy, healthy relationship built from truth, built from genuine connection, real safe love, not trauma bonding, not just chemistry, but actually relationships that's going to last lifetime. Not more divorce every couple of years, lifetime. That's what I'm hoping for. What do you believe? Let me know in the comments.
Because when men quietly walk away from something they used to compete for, it sends a very different message than anger ever could. It says they've simply decided their energy is better spent somewhere else.
Men stop playing by the rules, and now everyone's freaking out. Let's break down why silence has become the loudest move.